that is in kit form, well and truly. So Ron, fellas, we saw him get it.
Stalled again momentarily and nearly gets beat out by the BMW.
Yeah, but look what happened. Look what happens. The Audi beats the Panos out of the pit lane and gains track position. Look at the Audis. Look, 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 look. The Audi and the BMW are going to fight over track position here. Who's at the line first? Well, Capello's on the inside line. That was good enough for him. What caused the damage on the front of that Panos? We didn't see that on the pit stop earlier, and I don't think it was when he hit the... I don't think he hit that Nighthawk. The Lola, Nighthawk Racing. Well, we're going to try and answer some of these questions as we get this debris cleared up from the full course yellow. Explosion. It is like putting a hand grenade in under that right rear fender, and it literally blows the thing to pieces. I mean, when tires blow, it bends sheet metal and metal tubing. But here's a look at the highlights. Boom! Magnussen drop kicks Alan McNish in the Audi. That was for the lead, remember, earlier. Then he was given, like we saw the earlier damage as you look down through your top 10 here. There's your GTS leaders. Beretta and Wendlinger now firmly in the top 10. In fact, Vipers first, second, and GTS 9th and 10th overall. Cato and O'Connell, we believe, are still a lap down because of the earlier pit stop when O'Connell got mugged by Schiattarella in that Lola, in the Olive Garden Lola. But Capello and McNish make up a position during that pit stop, and here we go again with the green. Yes, we are about to go green. The leaders are completely buried in traffic, and Brabham gets the jump.
Brabham gets the jump, and look at Capello. He falls back to third. This is on board the 43 car, which is actually on the road up ahead of the leaders.
So the leading cars are behind him. McNish now, in fact, leads Brabham. Cato is in the middle of the mix there. J.J. Leto is the official leader of the race. McNish is now second. Brabham is third, so BMW do lead. York Mueller is in the car.
And actually, I think that was the number 2 Panos we were looking at, because it's now the BMW in the lead. Yes, it's the BMW, the Audi, and the Panos. So, and the other Audi right behind Brabham in that number 1 car. So, look at these guys. Look at this.
Oh, Panos off the road.
That is Cato, and look at the 77 car. Made contact.
We didn't get one lap under green, and suddenly there's a schmozzle. That is Stefan Johansson in trouble. So Stefan hit somebody very, very hard. Probably Cato. Remember the huge crash Cato had? Oh, that's it. Day's over. Huge crash Cato had at Laguna Seca, hit the concrete wall, just absolutely destroyed the number 2 Panos, and it's over for him again today.
So he doesn't even get a full lap under green. There is the Panos team.
Dave Price there from England, left to your picture, runs this operation.
Well, the
rear wing's gone.
Yeah, the number 1 car got caught up in this. Remember, he was only 3 or 4 cars behind his teammate in the number 2 car.
Talk about the wheels coming off the wagon, all in one go. David Brabham forced to pit. Dorsey, how bad does it look?
Hey, the front end, I'm looking at damage you saw before, but that's not the thing. The back end, back here, no wing whatsoever. There's damage to the diffuser a little bit. Let me see. The biggest problem is going to be getting this wing, guys. It doesn't look like an easy fix at all.
Can we guess? Can we guess that that was Johansson that hit him? There's the wing right there. Look, there's the Panos wing buried in the front of Stefan Johansson's car. You can't hide that evidence. Little leaf.
But Derek, I think that was all caused by the number 2 car spinning, and I think David Brabham checked up to avoid contact and got hit from behind.
Okay, let's have a look at the replay again. So, here's the check up here. Here's Johansson behind David Brabham on the right side.
And it's the BMW that spins Cato. That's what it was. It was the BMW that spins Cato. The Audi bails out, and you can see the contact hasn't even happened yet, I don't think, Derek, because I saw David Brabham drive through. Look at the top of the shot.
No, it did. It happened earlier. Let's go real slow here. This is Cato out of his car, but we're going to show you the replay again in super slow motion. There's about 4 different incidents all at the same time here. Now, what's the BMW here, Jeremy?
The BMW lower left, that will hit the panos right there. That spins the panos.
Watch the right side of your screen. The Audi hits, David Brabham hits the Audi, look, boom, smacks him. And now Johansson has now run into the back of David Brabham.
But Brabham still has the rear wing.
Still has his wing.
He
so
still has the wing.
Incident.
He got hit somewhere else. There's the tap, there's the panos. The panos gets spun. You see Brabham does hit the Audi, but that's not, look at the nose on the Reynard is still okay. That all happened somewhere else. Who hits him here? There it is, right there.
There it is. So there's about 4 different incidents, all happen in about 50 feet or 50 yards of racetrack. And now we've got a BMW limping badly into the pits. It has to have at least a broken suspension.
Look at the right side of this car. It's just been destroyed. Look at, this is the 78 car, and I think I got this car confused with the Reynard because this is the car that sneaks through. There's the teammate right in front. Brabham is to the left. There is the panos spinning. See, he sneaks up the inside. He sneaks up the inside. He gets through it very cleanly.
So the BMW spins Kato. Everybody checks up. David Brabham then hits the attic, and we are on board the leader. This is Pirro. Vila started off, did a double stint. They have avoided all the incidents and all the crashes. Started off with a poor start, but look the way it shakes out now. We know Capello and McNish's car has damage. We know one of the BMWs is in serious trouble. Brabham Magnussen is still in the pit lane. Johansson is still in the pit lane. So this top 10 is going to further shake out. 87 laps, almost 2 hours into it. This top 10 is changing as we speak. We'll be right back.
Howdy, there is Brabham. He gets through okay, but then something slows him down, and we see it from this angle. So there is the panos, slowed down by that Porsche, gets popped right there, and gets hit very hard right there. Now, there goes the Audi, the 78 car to the left. With him goes Brabham, but right here, and I think Brabham must have not had his gear, Derek. I don't think he was, because he just wasn't rolling, and then he gets hit by the Reynard.
And you know what? In fairness to Stefan Johansson, he was completely unsighted because it was a 911 right between him and David Brabham, who pulled out of the way, and bang, Johansson just ran smack into the back of him. Boy, that was at least 4 incidents that all happened at the same time, and the 42 BMW did not survive. Dorsey?
A lot of damage down here. York Mueller sits in the car. They're rebuilding the right side of the car. You see the mechanics at work. They're going to put a radiator in. But the suspension damage is minimal. Take a look here. Right here where the upper control arm goes on, it normally attaches to a shear plate that is right in this vicinity. Now, a shear plate is designed to be weaker than that whole link. So when it pulled through, it yanked the shear plate off. Just like this one over here. They're going to bolt a new one on, bolt it back together, put a radiator in. This car will make it back, which is quite amazing.
Thank you, Dorsey. So that is obviously a big job down there for that BMW. Meanwhile, Pirro and Vila, Pirro behind the wheel right now, continues to lead. And he is shown, as Alan McNish goes by, he has 23 seconds of a lead over his teammate Alan McNish. Now, we are going to show you later on a highlight package for the season with these P cars. And it's going to be on the back side of the commercial just coming up. So let's just slip away for a quick break. And we're going to show you a season highlight for the P cars, and it is very interesting to watch. Now, don't forget, at the end of this year in racing, we have the American Le Mans season in review, Monday, January 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss that. Now, with an update on some of the damage, let's go to Calvin.
Well, I'm down in the Johansson pit, and this is one very used up Reynard front end. You see the damage to the fender. Here's the piece of the car that really has the strength in the event of a front end impact. But look at this, Derek. Completely sawed the car in half. As we come around to some more carbon fiber, here's the telltale story. This is a piece from the #1 car that David Brabham was driving. But I understand that Dorsey has Jan Magnussen standing by.
Jan, fantastic first stint by you. It was awfully aggressive, however.
Yeah, I mean, we had I had a good start, and was able to get a little bit of a gap the first couple of laps, although it was very equal. I caught some traffic coming on to the straight, and Alan was able to pull past. There was a bit of shuffling around going on at the end of the straight. I took my normal brake point, and Alan came out, took his, and I hit him. It was my fault. And I had a stop-go penalty. Had to fight my way back. It was, I mean, for what's happened now, it's been such a great day up until now. A good car, and was able to fight with people. It was so much fun out there. And to end it like this, just a shame. It's the second weekend for us. That looked like we were going to win, and we didn't.
We were surprised when Alan McNish caught you. He gave you a wave by down there.
Well, he waved me by for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he had a problem. I don't know why. I thought he was going to punt me out.
Tough break, man. Back to you guys.
Believe me, he was probably thinking of punting you off after what you did to him earlier on, but I don't think it was on purpose. In fact, Alan did say that earlier on in an interview, but that was a great opening double stint by Jan Magnussen. Remember, Panos have only won one time this year. We saw that earlier. That was at the Nürburgring. They were second in Portland. At the Petit Le Mans, they were third. But they really, Jeremy, appeared as if they had the speed to take the fight to the Audis this afternoon. But that big crash ended a great race.
And I think the key to that was that Magnussen said, you know, we have now 2 races in a row been in a position to win, felt we should have won, and have been eliminated from the race. Of course, it was mechanical problems at Laguna, and of course, the crash here. This 43 car, the BMW is trying to get a lap back from the leader. That is the leader right there, number 78. And the 43 car, as we're on board with the 43 car, trying to get that lap back right now.
Trying to get the lap back. That is never that easy. Remember, this is the same BMW. They ran here last year. They were so successful. Meanwhile, let's go to Chris Neifel. Calvin?
Well, Chris has jumped out. It's going to be Justin Bell driving now. Chris, the Viper seems so strong here. I know you've been working hard on the tire combination to try and get a balanced race car here.
I hate to say it, the car's the best it's been all weekend. I know that the way our cars, the 4 car is handling now suits Justin quite nicely. The car's a bit pushy, which I'm a little bit more used to the car being a little bit looser. And but once I started getting some fuel burned off, you know, I felt really good. And, you know, I'm happy that our car's good. You know, the guys worked hard, and we just didn't have anything for those red cars this week.
Did the track conditions come to you, or was it adjustments you made with the car?
Well, we made some adjustments to the car. You know, the fact that, you know, it's a new situation with car 4, new guys working together. Our learning curve wasn't quite where it needed to be, and you know, it came together nicely on race day, but in terms of sheer speed, we just, you know, weren't where we needed to be.
All right, mate, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Calvin.
11th place overall for that Corvette. They are in 3rd place overall in the GTS category.
And this is the telemetry from the number 92 Viper. You can see the speed in the lower left corner there, 164, 165. About 167 miles an hour, braking at about 1.2 Gs. That red graph on the right, when it plunges down into the red, is braking. Of course, it's in acceleration mode right now, accelerating at 0.5, 0.6 Gs. And we'll see another good braking spike here as we go down the back straightaway into turn 5. Here's the braking zone right here, 1.2 Gs, 1.3 Gs of braking.
1.3 Gs. We are now about 38 minutes left in this race. 2 hours 45 minutes. It is a timed race. So as this thing rolls on here, it has settled down a bit, only because of the incident we saw about 10 minutes ago that really finished off 2 or 3 very fast cars. So the Audis again run 1-2.
And of course, in sports car racing, under certain rules and under certain sanctioning bodies, they used to point the leaders around after full course yellow to put the leaders up at the front of the line. They do not do that in the American Le Mans Series, and that's why the leaders were caught in the middle of that group of cars, and that had a lot to do with setting off that incident.
Oh, a sandwich job again here for the number 92 Viper. You see, he backed off, though. He was going to go outside first, and he backed off and went down the inside. There's your top 10. Don't go away. The last race on McNish took over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And of course, that is the P car run by BMW. The M3 car that runs in the GT class is a development of the M3 from the road car. On board here with Hans Stuck, but earlier we asked him to take us through the road car versus the race car.
This is the latest product of the BMW M series, the new M3 street car. For those of you who don't know what M means, M stands for motorsport, and M is maybe the most powerful letter in the world. It has been installed since 1979. So, let me show you some similarities on both cars. First of all, look at this front spoiler here of the street car. It's similar to the racing car. But then we come to the fender, and this has to be much wider, of course, because we've got to fit those monster slick tires. But they are bigger but not taller. Both cars are on 18-inch diameter wheels. Coming to the back of the car, you will see a very big wing. This we have to put on, because you get to put the power down of the powerful engine, not to have so much wheel spin. The heart of the two cars is the same. Both have a 3.2-liter six-cylinder flat engine. The street car has 333 horsepower, and the race car has 666. No, I'm kidding you. Sorry, only 450. That's a pity. Let's come to the inside of the car. The main thing is it's very raw inside. No air conditioner, no stereo, and nothing. Just a roll cage, which is good for safety, or also for the strength of the car. You see, racing seats, racing wheels. That's it. But to be honest, for going home tonight, back to the hotel, see my wife, I prefer the street car. It's much more comfortable and nicer.
Yeah, and of course, Hans Stuck is so old now, he likes those nice, comfortable street cars.
Whew, low blow.
This is the number 42. We raced Formula One together. It's 25 years ago, so I can say that now.
These guys are almost done with the work on that 42 car, and quite a job they've been doing there. Rear suspension, radiator, half shafts, uprights, the whole deal on that number 42 car. 3 cautions. Lap 17, debris from the Randy Post-Lambert Porsche. Lap 78, as we watch our green flag again, we had a yellow. Lap 101, the Slater crash. For those of you interested in the champ car race from Fontana, it is in the rain delay. De Ferran on the pole down there, almost 242 miles an hour. But back here at Las Vegas, I mean, this has been action-packed again. Right from the start, we saw incidents. When Magnussen took out the Audi, look at the blue smoke again. These opening laps, cold tires. There is David Brabham in the sole remaining Panos, and that car right now sits down in 8th position.
But he also sits about 7 laps behind. So the 2 Audis are, there is 3 cars on the opening lap, are on the lead lap. Gounon and Oberlin. Gounon now behind the wheel in the BMW. Misfortune has been around many, many people today. And this infield section again, this infield section is where things get tight, and that's where we saw the incident happen. But in fairness, Kato appears to be minding his own business when he got hit by the number 42 BMW.
And this is on board the number 43 BMW, which goes by the number 77 Audi, and that's actually not for position. That is to get a lap back from that car. So the 43 car, Gounon on board right now. What he needs to do is get in touch with the overall leader, which of course is the number 78 Audi. That's about 14 seconds up the road right now to get back on the lead lap.
And the P battle so is between the 2 Audis and this one lonesome BMW here as he comes up behind one of the GTS leaders. In fact, that is the GTS leader. Now, second of the GTS, Archer Donoghue. Beretta and Wendlinger continues to lead. What a job these Vipers have done with the GTS category this year. Lots of changes for next year. Maybe let's get an update on that from Lou Patain in the pit lane. Calvin?
Lou, you look on once again as like a proud father. These Vipers have been so successful over the last few years. This is their last appearance in North America. It looks like you may score another victory here today.
Well, it's been a great race, and obviously it's not over with yet. We got about another 16 or 17 minutes. It's been tough. The Corvettes are absolutely tough competition for us. The yellows fell about equally, so it's been a really close race for both of us. But what can I say? The engineering group at Dodge Motorsports has done another great job today with teamwork, and we're really proud of the result so far. We've got a little ways to go yet, so we're cautiously optimistic.
Tell us about the LMP program, how that's progressing. Will we see that in the States as well as Le Mans next year?
We're really coming close to our first test. We'll take delivery of the first car for testing on the track about mid-December, which is right on program for us. The next evolution of the engine will be on the dyno in about 2 weeks. So we guess we'll be on the racetrack probably right around 1st of January before we can make any decisions as to what we're going to do other than a total commitment for Le Mans next year.
We look forward to seeing it, Lou. Congratulations on another championship season.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate all the fan support.
Good job, Lou. The engines that he mentions there being rebuilt are done by John Caldwell down in Ensenada, I believe, north of San Diego. We should give a call for Zach Brown and Vic Rice. They are in the GTS 911, running in 3rd place right now in that category. They are only 1 lap down with over 2 hours and 15 minutes of racing already. Good run there for Brown and Rice.
Can your radio do this?
They are running 3rd in the GTS class right now. That is Zach Brown behind the wheel. Zach Brown, in fact, is 7th overall in the GTS driver standings. His partner, Vic Rice, is actually 5th place. So these boys have done a very good job this afternoon. This car backed by Men's Fitness magazine. It's Rook Motorsports North America. They have quietly kept their nose clean, Jeremy, and done a good job here.
Yeah, and the Corvettes have not had a great day, and these guys have definitely capitalized on that. And interesting, in terms of this car, this is not a car unlike the GT3R Porsche in GT. This car has not been developed with the help of Porsche. This car is a few years old, and these guys are pretty much out on their own campaigning this car and trying to make it competitive. And they're really, I mean, they're fighting an uphill battle because it's not had the factory support the way the Corvettes and the Vipers have had, but they have done a good job nonetheless.
They have Zach Brown, spends a lot of time trying to generate support for his racing, runs his own marketing company in Indianapolis, Just Marketing. They are, I believe, involved in some of the commercial aspects of Sylvester Stallone's new movie about Champ Car called Driven. You can see, obviously, this is the later 911, much different, completely different design. This is leading the GT class here, but you can see, I mean, this is the contemporary style Porsche 911.
Well, and of course, the big difference between these two cars would be this car is a non-turbocharged car. Those drops of rain I see on that lens.
Just to add a little bit of interest to the mix, yes, it is beginning to rain as we go on board the sister car for Dick Barber. This is the number 5 car.
You see that? That was the left wheels going off onto the curb, and that shook the whole car, including the camera.
We were curious when we saw this onboard camera earlier on what eDaddyWarbooks.com stands for. Apparently it is a maybe potential sponsor, but I believe it's an online trading company. eDaddyWarbook.com, I think is what it says.
And that is one of the BMWs, one of the PTG BMWs in front.
Look at the power difference, Jeremy. Look at that there.
Well, there's no question about it. The Porsches have had the advantage on top end and on power over the BMWs. The BMW is a little bit more nimble, and the BMW guys know they need to work on horsepower for next year. It is their weak point right now. There goes David Brabham in the Panos.
And there are the threatening skies. It is just beginning to rain down in the pit lane. We saw Audi with 20 sets of tires earlier, including intermediates and including wet weather tires, so they are prepared. But now we have 2 hours and 24 minutes almost gone, so just over 20 minutes left in this 2-hour 45-minute Grand Prix of Las Vegas. And the rain beginning to come down now, just a little bit heavier. On board the Hans Stuck. See the drink bottle on the right-hand side. It's pretty hot on these cars. Development of the road-going M3. Grabs a gear there, see that? Got into traffic, grabbed the gear. Here's a man here, Hans Stuck, who would love to see it rain. Suddenly we'll put a bit of an advantage back to BMW and to his unbelievable reflex and instinct style.
And they did run here on Friday. It did rain here on Friday. They ran in the wet, and it was actually quite treacherous, especially the transitions up onto the banking. As you leave the apron and go up onto the bank part of the racetrack, then you come back down right here. Those transitions very, very difficult to deal with in wet weather.
And Stuck is now 3rd in the GT class overall. He's on the same lap as Lucas Luhr. It looks as if he's about 11 seconds behind last time past the scoring strike. Did I say that right?
And this, you got it out finally. This 78 car, I just was going to pretend you weren't having any trouble at all. This 78 car right now with about a 25-second lead, and clearly on that camera lens you could see a lot of drops. And these guys will be okay for a while, but this racetrack, the nature of the racetrack and the surface here is that it will get greasy very, very quickly. And if you start to lose a little bit of tire temperature in these slicks, you will have to get into the pit lane. You'll have to get some intermediates on if it just sprinkles. And of course, if it does really begin to rain, you've got to go to full wet weather tires.
Last lap by Hero in the 12.3. Earlier they ran in the 10s. So being a little bit more careful right now. 9.3 is the fastest lap for Piro's car. So he's about 3 seconds a lap slower than the ultimate speed for the car we're on board with right now.
And remember, these guys, they started on the front row, outside of the front row, fell back to 8th in the early going. This is a great comparison with the telemetry on this car because we were on board earlier with the Viper. And I think you'll notice a big difference, especially in the braking at the end of the straightaways. These cars really, really stopped very, very well. But these guys fell back down as low as 8th early on in this race and have been very, very patient. Watch this car as he runs down to this braking zone here. He'll probably get about a 1.6, 1.7 spike. There it is, 1.6 on that braking spike.
And he is now still 27.3 seconds ahead of Alan McNish and Capello in the sister car to this right behind them. Now, if it does rain, there will be a scramble, particularly for tires. Dorsey?
Well, guys down here in the BMW pit, they're getting ready with the full complement of tires. Right here is a full rain. It's a full grooved rain. You see right here, it's a very, very soft compound. But this is for a downpour when it's got puddling on the track. Next to me is a set of hand-cut tires. These were done with a tire grooving iron. And this is also a very, very soft compound. But as you can see, not nearly as many as what the tread sipes are. You won't get as much squirm out of this configuration on a drying track. So they're ready no matter what kind of rain we get, if we get it at all.
I want to say congratulations to our Dorsey Schrader. He got married last weekend. He met his new wife Kim on Sunday night. He married her Monday morning. He does things fast.
Dorsey does not mess around. And the next day he was in the studio doing a voiceover.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he won 17 Trans Am races, which means he doesn't do things slowly. Dorsey Schrader. There is your top 10, 113 laps. By Mike Fitzgerald is in the pit lane. He has a badly damaged left rear. Now, this may have implications for the Porsche Cup. We mentioned it earlier. It is a private award. Our award for the privateer has been running since 1970. You can win as much as $35,000. That is one of the reasons they brought Christophe Bouchou over here to try and beat Mike Fitzgerald. Mike Fitzgerald has about a 300-point lead coming into this event. And it covers all the American Le Mans Series races, the FIA GT races, etc.
Pretty much anywhere you run a Porsche, you can score Porsche Cup points.
Yeah,
and a lot of history and a lot of. I mean, it's a great award, and many drivers from North America have won that award.
Yeah, they brought over Bouchou to see if he could win it. He was teamed with Tony Burgess. He's out of the race, though. You see us. Is that one of our racers group cars?
Well, we saw the leader sneak through there. There is the lead Audi, and of course that lead continues to grow. The other car definitely has been, the damage now on the number 77 car has definitely slowed that car down. Now this car 38 seconds ahead of its team car.
Yeah, so Capello now happy to just take this thing home. In the LMP Drivers' Championship, McNish leads with 237. Over Capello, his own teammate, he is only 10 points clear. So it is theoretically, if McNish wins here or finishes second, which he could do, the only man theoretically that could beat him would be his teammate Capello, which would be in Australia. But the chances are they're going to be teamed in Australia, so if one gets points, the other gets points. So McNish really has a pretty good stranglehold on this LMP Drivers' Championship. Tommy Archie gets out. What a great run Donahue has had in this Viper also.
And David
the belts
Donahue.
up. See that on the way down the pit lane? They loosen them on the way in, so it's easy to jump out, and then they tighten them to their own, as tight as they like them on the way down. David checks his mirrors, still on the speed limiter. Look at his chest. Look at his chest. Look at his chest pound. He just got into the car. But your adrenaline rush is so great, your chest just pounds. Calvin?
Well, an update. It's very strange to see a driver change with only about 12 minutes left in the event, but they looked at the calculations and they had made a mistake. David Donahue did not have enough time in the car. Tommy Archer just stormed out of here. The door didn't shut. He kicked the car to shut the door, and then he just stormed off. Hugues de Chaunac tried to put his arm around him, and he just walked away in disgust. Pretty angry that may cost him a position out on the racetrack.
Yes, indeed, it might. They were running 8th place overall. They were behind the Beretta Wendlinger car. And now they're shown a lap behind as we speak. This exact same thing happened to Sasha Masson and Bob Wallach in Texas, I believe. And there was a protest which has been since upheld, and Masson and Wallach got, I believe, half of their points back.
Well, Derek, it's very confusing. It was upheld. They got all their points back, but then they had 10 and 11 points taken away from them. So a very confusing situation. But the bottom line is each team is responsible for keeping a logbook that states how much time each driver has had in the car. And you have to turn in the logbook after the race and have that, of course, turn it to the officials, and they take a look at it and they make sure that you've done the proper amount of time. And each driver has to do a minimum amount of time, and each driver can only do a maximum amount of time. And so that's the issue here for the Dodge team with Donahue and the Dodge team.
And the points that they did give Masson and Wallach back put Masson to the head of the GT Drivers' Championship. They must drop 2 scores, so their 2 worst scores when they do drop it. So Masson came into this race at 192, Wallach 190, Dirk Mueller, they're all in the same team, at 188. Then we have Randy Post and Bruni Lambert, who we saw had trouble earlier on, all sorts of terminal problems with gearboxes in their 911. Masson and Wallach, we mentioned those. They are now just outside the top 10 as the leaders of the GT category. Look at the lap leaders here. Boy, that just shows you how strong that Panos was. For most of the race when they ran, they were the pace setter. They were the trailblazers. It is such a shame that David Brabham, no sooner did he get into that car than he tripped over a few slower cars in an incident that really, I mean, was it anybody's fault? It was a racing incident. There is the #1 car driven by David Brabham, way down now. As we look at the story monitor, he is 7 laps down in 6th place.
And you do have to feel bad for these guys because Jan Magnussen drove really a pretty inspired race.
Yes,
it was very aggressive, and in what was a very much a head-to-head battle with Alan McNish, was on terms with him and was able to race him and was able to pass him. Was also able to hit him, but he paid the price for that. But of course, they did just get caught up in that incident, and that is not their fault.
That is the Olive Garden car. Remember, for every lap they complete here, they feed a needy family with the Olive Garden Feed the Hungry campaign that they take to every single American Le Mans city that they race in. It is just a great campaign, and they have fed more than 2,700 people with this Feed the Needy campaign. Just a great campaign to run in conjunction with this American Le Mans series. So hats off to Olive Garden. It's been a great promotion, very successful and very needy.
And you can see the legacy of that early contact, the right front corner of the car. Didier Duradic is in the car right now. These guys are sitting 4th overall, of course 4th in the prototype class, but they are 5 laps down to the leader.
So now we have less than 9 minutes to go. So we're going to slip away for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to take you all the way through to the finish. And right now, it's in the control of Audi. What a surprise. Now we have less than 6 laps to go. The rain has stopped. I mean, it only just came very slightly, but it now has stopped. We have... And now you see the Audi still in control. Jeremy, you just mentioned it. I mean, in control.
Well, I've been watching him this last 10 or 15 minutes, and the difference in driving style has been pretty remarkable, you know, compared to the early part of the race where all of these guys in the prototypes were taking incredible chances. And look at him. Look at how patient he's being here. Normally, he would have stuffed that car in there between those two right-handers, but he waits to get out onto the straightaway and just drive by and get back to his racing line, and not taking any chances at all.
And that was Kevin Buckler from the Racers group that moved over there, or stayed over on the outside line, Sonoma, California. Kevin runs a preparation shop and restoration shop up at Sears Point. We saw Kevin get hit by Magnuson at the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. He didn't enjoy it, but he got a whack from the Panos. We have now 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes of this 2-hour, 45 minutes Grand Prix of Las Vegas left to go. And this will give McNish and Capello obviously an unassailable lead in this Drivers' Championship. All manufacturers' championships have been decided before they came here. Audi, Viper, and Porsche, P-Class, GTS, and GT class. So that was not anything that was going to be in contention here before we started. There is our number 23 car, the Bruno Lambert car. We saw that earlier, very early in the race. It got itself in trouble with it when it lost the rear bodywork. That didn't seem to slow itself down. Now on the way to the pit lane. Dorsey, you have a comment?
Yeah, you're going to love this, guys. The 23 is pulling in, and you're not going to believe for what. They're making this pit stop to put on some fresh qualifying soft rubber. Randy Post is going to get into the race car. They know they can't win, but they're going to go for the fastest race lap in their class to try to get 1 point.
Wow.
That's actually quite a clever piece of strategy, because, and look at that, take the downforce off the car. He's pulling out what is commonly referred to as a wicker bill or a gurney tab. He pulls it out of the rear wing, and that will increase the speed of the car on the straightaway. It will hurt the car in terms of downforce, but if they're putting super sticky tires on it and they're just going for a lap or two to try and get a quick lap, you can get away with a little less downforce.
Well, now that's interesting. Remember, Sasha is leading the Drivers' Championship with 192. Randy Post and Bruno Lambert have 182 and 180. Post 182, Lambert 180. So then they go to Australia. So maybe this GTS Drivers' Championship may still be up for grabs. So that 1 point for fastest lap may be worth a lot more than 1 point. We're going to follow his progress. He only has 3 minutes to do that fastest lap. 3 minutes, and we may have a splash and go here for the number 78 leading car. Yes, no, not yet. Will he come in for a splash and go? He has
well, Derek, the peculiar...
more than half a minute of a lead, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good lead, but the run down the pit lane here is very, very long, and the pit lane speed limit, because of the pit lane speed limit, it takes a tremendous amount of time to get in and out of the pit lane. And Calvin, you got a little bit of update?
Yeah, I just asked Alan McNish. I said, are you guys okay on fuel? He said, well, we are. I said, how about the 78 car? And he just shrugged his shoulders and smiled. So there's certainly some activity down here that may be just a precaution in case the car stumbled in the last couple of laps. But Audi are definitely set up for a splash and go if necessary.
If necessary. He is about, he's in fact, he was more than half a second. He is 43 seconds now ahead of the sister car with Capello behind the wheel. So he actually has enough time to get in, get the splash, and get back out again. Boy, can you imagine if they took a risk and they needed it?
Well, remember, they have been having problems with these cars getting them rolling out of the pit lane. So you can't assume that a pit stop is going to be a totally smooth affair. You can see as it gets a little bit darker here, the rub strips on the bodywork there on the nose of the car grinding into the pavement as he makes that transition off the apron up onto the banking. They've had problems getting these cars rolling from the pit stops, and so stopping this car is going to be a pretty big risk.
Less than a minute. Less than 1 minute. I don't know whether Bruno Lambert or that number 23 Alex Joker is going to have enough time to warm up those tires and get a flyer. I don't know whether they brought him in early enough. Randy Post is behind the wheel, and there is his teammate, but Post is behind the wheel trying to see can he get that one valuable point. I don't know. We're keeping an eye on our scoring up here to see can he do it. The Audi is well in control. They are not obviously going to stop for a splash of fuel. We expect a white flag next time by for Capello, for Piero. There is the white flag. So Audi again take the white flag, running 1-2 despite what happened. 2.2 miles, 14 turns here.
And Derek,
Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
There's the 23 car right there. He did get one lap in. It was about a 1:20 flat, which is about a second and a half off the quickest GT lap so far. So the 23 car has got a lot of work to do. Calvin.
Well, as the 78 car took the white flag there, Beeler put his tongue out like, I think we're okay. I think they got enough on the reserve tank, guys, to go one lap, so that may be an indication that they're okay.
Well, he's got about 1.2 miles now to go. Double apex right-hander in the infield. Looks in his mirrors. Doesn't need to go any faster. Had a 49-second lead over the second place car as he started this lap. This will be Audi's 8th win in 11 races. The number 77 car won most of them. This is the 3rd win for the number 78. And he slows down, doesn't take a chance. Up on the banking, takes the checkered flag, waves way before he gets to the checkered flag. And they go right and left of him. That was Frank Beeler there with the coat on, coming out to congratulate him. So Beeler started the car, did a double stint, then Piero took over when McNish and Capello had a lot of trouble.
Imagine, if you will, driving in a world where tires from Yokohama dominate the track with speed, grip, and control. Imagine what this could mean to you.
Lucky today, but certainly you're not going to win races without a little bit of luck.
And there is your full field rundown. Wallach and Masson win the GT class. 11th place overall. That gives them 10 wins in 11 races by Porsche this year. 5th win of the season for Masson and Wallach. Good run as you look down through. They're the cars that did not finish as you go down through the end. There were not many casualties here till we went about just over halfway through this race. But there are the Audi boys. What a celebration.